Ever said yes to something you really wanted to say no to? Every single yes that should have been a no is hurting your personal power. Now, I know it's not easy to say no. We don't want to disappoint others. We don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We don't want to disrupt our relationship with our colleague. All these make it very difficult to say no. And if you feel that way, you're not alone. I read a recent article that was talking about a study that showed that 77% of people would rather say yes even if they want to say no because of the fear of disappointing. Now, I want to share with you, however, a different perspective to this, even though I understand it's difficult to say no. When you're saying yes over and over and over and over again to things that you really want to say no to, you're actually hurting your personal power, which means that you are deteriorating that ability to have that self-confidence, that inner knowing that you can speak your truth with safety, with conviction, and calmly to others. It's really hurting your self-confidence. Now, I want to share with you two elements so that you can understand why it's so difficult to say no. The first aspect is the fact that we haven't learned how to process the uncomfortable and intense emotion that come with saying no. You may have noticed it. Maybe once you said no to something, and then you feel that regret, that shame, that uncomfort because you said no. And therefore, we take the avenue of saying yes, thinking that it's much, much more comfortable, but it's actually hurting us much more than anything. And the second aspect to understand why it's so difficult to say no is the fact that we haven't learned the step-by-step way of how to say no. When you understand how to say no step by step and the different aspects to take into account in your communication when you say no, it becomes much, much more easier for you to embrace the capacity to say no as a skill. So there's a lot to unpack, but I want to leave you with an opportunity to reflect. So I want you to think about the last time that you had to say yes instead of a no. And imagine if you had the tools and the step-by-step way to say no, how would that make you actually feel?